What's up? I'm Lou Gold, and this is the first ever episode of Better Late Than Never. Like I said, I'm Lou Gold. This is gonna be my first episode of doing this, and I think I'll start off with a joke. So, um, I'm starting to. Well, I'm kind of losing it here. This is harder than it looks. So, oh God, who's that guy that works for FedEx and then crashes on an island? It kind of looks like Tom Hanks, but it's not Tom Hanks. But it looks like Tom Hanks. And he's on an island, and he's got a volleyball for a friend. I can't remember his name. Wilson. His name was Wilson, and he hit his tooth out with a what was that? He knocked his tooth out with his ice skate. Yeah, looks like Tom Hanks. Flies for FedEx. Crashes on an island. Volleyball named Wilson. Ice skate to the tooth, and then he like keeps one package at the end. And I don't know why, but I don't know what is the name of that movie. I'm just bullshitting. Yeah, I know it's Castaway. Yeah, I know that's Castaway. Actually, I'm a big Tom Hanks fan, so I uh, I enjoy I enjoy his movies. There's a one named Big, and I don't know. He's like a 13-year-old boy, and he goes to the fair. And he gets to the fair. He like goes and he sees this like magical. Well, not magical at this point, but he goes up and he sees that there's like a fortune teller machine, and he goes and he uses it, and I don't know, there's some fucking weird juice in it or something. Like something happened where he ended up becoming big overnight and getting a grown up job and fucking ladies and everything. And still, he's just like this 13-year-old running around in like a 25-year-old's body. So that's pretty wild. But man, I could like shit. Back in the day when I was 13 years old, I'd only wish to have something like that. You know, fucking have some fortune teller lady and what's up, Kobe? Swin dog Kobe, come here. Big pig, big pit bull head. Um, I am an addict. Quit drinking. Um, I'll say officially one day, but I've been doing great. Before that, for like a month, I've been kind of like hit or miss. I'll be like, oh, I guess I can have a drink, and I did it like 3 or 4 times. But before that shit, I was drinking quite a bit. I'm 250 pounds, so I'm really trying to do this to make myself accountable and to do something on a routinely basis. So I want to do a show like this, like Tuesdays and Fridays, and I want to go to the gym. You know, I'd like to do some stuff like that and get back into shape. I'm a military veteran, and I've been out of the service since 2017. So coming up on 10 years already. It's crazy. But I was part of the special forces in a way. We build and we fight. We were CBs. So that's what we did. I was a construction battalion person, like welder, go in, and we'd basically build things in the middle of danger zones and, you know, runways and buildings and hospitals and clinics, stuff like that. You know, it was pretty cool. I got to go travel to see a lot of places. I saw the it's called Jabal Petra. It's in Jordan, and like it's one of the wonders of the world of how this civilization like carved their way into the side of the mountains and made their made these huge mosques, and it's just unbelievable sight. But I got to go do a lot while I was in the military. Got to live in some cool places and stuff. Lived in Mississippi and San Diego. Go on and on about those places. Had a lot of fun. And now I'm back in the Midwest, and and we get snow. I'm from a place that they say 20 lakes in 20 minutes. So that's a hint. I can't tell you exactly where. Been doing this since I was like 16. You wonder how do you get it? Like, well, our parents would buy it for us sometimes, but we used to have a gas station that was um, had all their nicotine, not their cigarettes, but they had all their chewing tobacco in a freezer, not a freezer, but a cooler in the gas station next to like the Cokes and Mountain Dew or whatever. And we went in there and like we had a plan. Me and my friends did, like, we're gonna fucking take them for everything they got. You know what I mean? So we go through. I'm talking to the lady at the register while my friend's got like his big winter coat on, and you hear him just cleaning it out, sticking it in his winter coat. You know what I mean? His name was Mark. That kid was a klepto, and we end up getting all of it, and we go back to my friend Joey's house, and we put it all on the bed, and we pick out what flavors we want. And that was only a couple times that happened, but definitely something I wouldn't want my kids to be doing. You know what I mean? That's technically a theft for sure. But that shit was, like I said, when I was like 16, this was probably 20 years ago. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. Same group of friends. You ever heard of the Upper Deckers? There was like I don't know. I don't even know what the hell kind of store it was, but it was a store. And we go in, walking around, looking, there's candy and stuff. My same friend that we divided our chew up on his bed, the same friend that was with me, it was at his house we were going to. We're going back to his house after we leave this grocery store, so keep that in mind. And then the people that own the grocery store live directly next door to him. So, we need, dude. Somebody though named John, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go take a shit, dude." Like, we're like, "Yeah, okay, no problem." And he kind of gave us the look too. That look, like, it's going down, dude. I'm gonna fucking shit in this upper tank of this toilet. So, long story short, he does his business. We fucking skedaddle out of there, and within 5 minutes, the cops and the person that lived next door and owned this business is like, "He's shit in my tank. He's shit in my tank," yelling at us and screaming, and we're like just trying to deny, and doesn't work. Doesn't work. The cops are there, they got a picture of a fucking turd floating in turd flirting or flirting, turd floating. Hey, dude, what do you need? Scratches. Yeah, high school is a crazy time though, and like my kids are getting older, and they're not doing any of the crazy shit I used to, and I was like petrified that was going to be something that happened when they got older. But thank God they've been a godsend. They've been great. Get all A's, maybe a B here and there, but they work on it pretty good, and they play in sports and everything. And what do you want, man? I'm not doing that right now. I'm not doing it. Yeah. Let's sit. You can be my guard dog. Sit. There. There you go. Like a sphinx. Guarding the pyramids. Guarding the pyramids. So, What's new in the world? The government's still shut down. I haven't been paying attention to like any of the news. I just can't stomach it anymore. I mean, it's just depressing, you know. And then you can't get away from it. You see like Charlie Kirk getting shot when you don't even want to see that, you know. Next thing you know, you're watching that on Facebook Reels, and you're like, "What the fuck just happened, dude? Like, why is this happening?" You know. And I wish everybody could get along and see eye to eye, you know. I just wish it could be different. Wish it could be different. I wish I could keep my eyes on the phone too. I feel like I'm looking everywhere else. But like I said, it's first time working out the kinks, trying my best. And like I said, the title's better late than never. And I think that's the truth, though. Like I'd rather start something and see if I can see it through, and and take a chance and just do my best. And if I do that and I fail, then I know I gave it a good shot, you know. So if not though, and it works, and I get a following, and I think that would be great. You know, I'm a pretty wholesome person, and I hope to be a good role model to people, and I would take it serious. I wouldn't use it in vain. You quit. I got a weird, well, not a hobby, talent. Made me think of that when I was. Yep. Went out and had breakfast by myself this morning. Pretty nice. Got some biscuits and gravy and ham, eggs, toast. Didn't need the toast, but I did eat it anyways. Usually I'm not that way, but I mean, you don't get to be 250 pounds if you don't eat the toast sometimes. You know what I mean? So I ate the toast, which was good. It was homemade wheat. And I was like, well, if it was white, then maybe I'd hold off on it because those biscuits were banging. But they were like, they're just not good for you. You know they're not good for you. And so I got to hold myself more accountable for sure. But that was a hell of a breakfast. It only cost me like $12. So it was nice. But yeah. I already talked about drinking a little bit. It's just so bad for you. And like, I was doing it every night. So I got to a point where I was literally like telling myself, like, why are you doing this? You know, it wasn't even enjoyable experience anymore. It was just like I was doing it out of habit and not even wanting to, but doing it anyways. And it was just ridiculous, you know. So I gave it up. I've been doing really well with it. I had a friend just recently who had to be hospitalized because he was drinking day and night, going to work, and had just a bad habit with it. And he ended up hospitalized for days, um, just because of it. He was having a seizure, having seizures. He left his truck at my house, like pretty crazy stuff. I just went to a funeral yesterday. It was my birthday, October 20th, and but yeah, it was my birthday yesterday, and I had to go to a funeral. It's fun, not really, but it was good to see all my family. I guess you could say it was. Um, well, I mean, for it being my birthday, I didn't, I wasn't walking around like, hey, it's my birthday, hey, it's my birthday, and trying to make it about me. I like went down there and tried to make it all about the family and everybody that was involved. It was my cousin's dad, so my uncle passed away, and he was a Marine for 20 years, and Did a couple tours, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure, but pretty cool dude. Speaking of the military, like I said, I was out. I was in, and I worked with the SEALs and Rangers, and got to go to such cool places and swim in the Dead Sea and pay a pay like I don't know what their version of a dollar was over there in Jordan, but like gave like that version of a dollar to a local, and he just covered me in Dead Sea mud. It's supposed to be really good for your skin. My dog just drooled all over me. It's supposed to be good for your skin. I worked on a SEAL base and put up like on their beach where they do all their training, like their Hell Week and whatever. I was out there watching those guys get beaten to the ground while we were out there like working in heavy equipment and putting up big boat signs, and it was pretty cool. I had the chance to go and be a SEAL, but I never had the ambition to want to do it. And now that I've been out for so long, it makes me wish that I would have tried. I have a lot of regrets in life. You know, I think some people that say like, "Oh no, I have no regrets. I have no regrets." I think that they have lied to themselves, because there's always something that we could have done better, or a situation we could have handled better, or whatever. There's so many things I wish I could have done differently to end up where I am right now in this spot talking to my phone. You know what I mean? There's so many other avenues of life that I could have chose to do, and I don't know. It's just weird how it all ends up taking you to a certain point and dropping you off there and telling you to figure it out, you know? It says here Tesla is heading into a multi-billion-dollar iceberg of its own making, but it's from Electech Trek. So I don't know. His self-driving cars are under fire again. I wonder why. This is from Fox News. The U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has opened up a new investigation into 2.88 million Tesla vehicles. That's like every one of them. Full self-driving officials say the system may be breaking traffic laws and worse, causing accidents. I always see just a couple. I I wonder how people can afford those fucking things, man. They're expensive. According to Reuters, 58 reports describe Teslas blowing through red lights, drifting into wrong lanes, and even crashing at intersections. 14 of those cases have involved actual crashes, and 23 caused injuries. Something for you. I'm really into the pyramids too. You know, it's weird how like Elon Musk made me think of pyramids, but he's into trying to travel to Mars, and that's all cool. I'd like to see how, because I swear the moon landing is fake, but it's funny how all those things end up, because like the pyramids are so in tune with the solar system and where they're placed geog- geographically speaking. There we go. Get it out there, Lou. But pyramids have always been something I've like been very interested in. I've always wanted to go there. My first aspiration as a kid, growing up, to go to college, I wanted to be an archaeologist because I was so interested in the pyramids. And now, um, they are coming out, and there's still no, they're just such a mystery. There's no answer to why they're there, what they're guarding, or if they're there for a power plant, or if they're there from aliens, or how they're built so fast, and how long we've been on Earth, and it's just crazy to think of all this stuff sometimes. I think Joe Rogan does a good job with like his guests, and he calls it their hangs, and that's what I'm really trying to do, is just be a good hang and be able to just be someone to talk to, and um, but I think he does a good job, like discussing all different avenues of everything and never trying to be too biased to one side or the other. He's always tried to be mid lane. No branding. One day we'll get there, you know. A couple years ago, when I tried to like do somewhat of unplanned launch, I was really trying to get sponsored by Crocs because I wear cloth Crocs all the time, literally everywhere, in the winter, in the summer, in the fall, in the spring, rain or shine. And like, there's a heel on them too. Don't get me wrong, but they came out before Hey Dudes, and Hey Dudes are super popular, but like they're not Crocs. Idiocracy called like that's on the set of Idiocracy. That's all they wore, but they planned on, or they kind of set their story in the future, and they put everybody in Crocs because that's all they had, and they ended up having a pretty realistic, futuristic view on how everybody be wearing their shoes. Like everybody's wearing Crocs. My dog is driving me crazy. What else is there? Warner Bros. Puts itself up for sale. That's crazy. I wonder why. Because like WB has been one of those things that just stands through the test of time. I mean, I think Batman was a Warner Bros. Picture back in the day when I was growing up. Oh yeah, and then at the Louvre they got robbed apparently. A woman charged after 1.5 million euros of gold was stolen from the museum. That's a lot. A Chinese woman has been charged with the theft of 6 gold nuggets worth about 1.5 million euros from the Museum of Natural History in Paris last month. French prosecutors have said the woman was arrested in Barcelona while trying to dispose of some melted gold, according to officials, and is being held in a pretrial detention. Famous for its stuffed animals and bone collections, the museum is home to mineralogy gallery from which the gold was taken. Police found an angle grinder and a blowtorch at the scene. The museum's alarm and surveillance systems had been disabled by a cyber attack, with the thieves apparently aware of this, French media reported at the time. Really? The thieves, clearly very experienced and well-informed, exploited a security flaw that had not been identified during the last audit conducted in 2024. A museum spokesperson told French newspaper Le Figaro. Le Figaro. Le Figaro. Le Figaro. Something like that. Cleaners discovered the break-in when they arrived for work before dawn at the museum, which is part of the Sorbonne University located near Jardin Plantes in central Paris. Wow, really? This is like a long ass story. I'm not going to read the rest of it and bore you to death. But they got fucking robbed, dude. They got fucking robbed. Another reason I really wanted to start a little show. My cousin passed away. This is different from my uncle. My cousin passed away, and he was 41. And the last time I talked to him, he was like, "I really want to start a podcast." And like, just get that's what I was meant to do, is just give my opinion to the world and to be informed and this and that and the other. And he ended up having like a deviated septum or something, and he had to have a surgery on his nose, and he ended up getting a blood clot behind his nose, and he fell asleep, and he had his arms crossed and his legs crossed, and He was found just like laying like that in his bed. Died from blood clot aneurysm, and he was one of my role models. Like growing up, we'd play with like He-Man and Star Wars toys, and like play Nintendo. And he was like 5 or 6 years older than me, but he was like my role model, dude. Like I'd go to his house and he'd show me all the cool shit that I'd never seen before, you know. And one time when we were in Key West, when he lived there, he took me to this old broken down helipad, and it was over top of a canal, saltwater canal, and you could jump off this helipad and um, jump into the water. And my dad's like, "Yeah, you can do it. Just wear a fucking life jacket, dude. Wear a life jacket." So I wore a life jacket, and then the first time I jumped off, I like lost balance going over the side. That's how I went over. Like I was too scared to just jump in, so like I fucking just barely got myself in there. But then the life jacket just came up and choked the shit out of me. So then I get off or get out of the canal and crawl up the side, and I survived. But the second time I took the life jacket off, jump in, run and jump in, and it was like getting easier and easier and easier. I'm like, this is fun, you know. I had a good time, and then jump off, get up on the side, and I saw a duffel bag, and this is like in the middle of nowhere in Key West. And I saw a black duffel bag, and I went to go open up the black duffel bag, and a black lab fucking came out of nowhere and started snarling and getting ready to like attack us for trying to open up the bag. And so like my cousin's standing there right next to me, and he's like I said, he's like 5 years older than me. I was like 12, so he was like 17. And he's like, "Don't run." And all I heard was run. So I just fucking took off. And like I was fucking chubby then too. And that dog was about to tear my ass up. And my cousin just threw me in the water, and I'm fucking drowning going down the canal, like literally fucking bobbing, getting fucked up by the waves. And he comes and he like swims me to the other side, and the dog had jumped in after us trying to get us. It was pissed, dude. But to this day, I always wonder like how much money or how much cocaine was in that bag. Because that would have been a way different trajectory of life. I could have been like a 12-year-old Scarface. Would have been awesome. But that was a little bit of him, but he made me really want to, because I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I've just been scared for some reason, and thinking to myself like, just having all the self doubts and everything, and been telling myself, do it tomorrow, do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And I finally was just like, let's get this going. Let's do this. Like, we can do this. I know I can do it. And if I can be a fucking help to anybody, or just be entertainment, or just a friend, and I don't know, it would be worth it to me. I'm going to put it up on YouTube and maybe cut some of it and make a couple of videos, put on like Facebook or something, like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to try, and hopefully it's enough to have some people be like, yeah, you know what, I like seeing him try. But we'll get there. I'm not gonna push things and do whatever. I don't know what I'm even saying, but I know that I'm trying right now, which is cool. It makes me feel good. I really want to try to get in shape too. That'd be nice. Since getting out of the military, I got done with all my college courses to become a cop, but I have to do a police academy, and I'm fucking 250 pounds and can't run right now. Well, I can run, but I just choose not to, I guess. And I need to get my ass into shape so I can fucking reach another goal. Like I always got to have something to work towards in life, because if not, there's like you're missing something, And like I've had this feeling for a long time that I would be good at this, or I could do this, and it's just been one of those things that's dragged on me, and it's been a thought, and it's just like Get it over with. Do it. Try it out. See if you can do it, you know? My dog is sleeping over here. I don't know if you can see. Oh, Kobe. I'm a big Lions fan, Detroit Lions. I like remember it's weird seeing them be good at football. You know, I used to let their Sundays affect my week and be like, they lost, man. It's gonna be a bad week. But you know, as I got older, I kind of was just like, yeah, it's just how it is. You know, just gotta get used to it. And now they're winning, and I don't even have like real feelings towards them. I'm like, yeah, they won again, but I've been waiting for this downfall the whole time. So I as like a Lions fan, it's been like awesome to have them winning. Don't get me wrong, but for the longest time, you always wondered like, well, when are they going to choke? When are they going to lose this game? You know, they'd be up for 3.5 quarters and then lose a game. You know, and Dan Campbell has like changed the whole philosophy and culture of the team and how people see it, not only in Michigan but in the entire country. Like people love the Lions, dude, and that's awesome. I know lots of people love the Cowboys too. My friend, one of my best friends, his name's Carlos. He loves the Cowboys, but like he was just devastated when Micah Parsons got let go. You know, how are you gonna do that? How are you gonna do that? But you know, on Thanksgiving you see the Cowboys and you see the Lions, no matter what. So I guess you have that kind of ingrained in your brain a little bit. I guess like I've become somewhat of a de facto fan of them by having my best friend be, well, three of my best friends really are Cowboys fans. Like all the friends I met in the military, if you weren't from Florida or Texas, I didn't like you just about. You know, the majority of the military was Florida, Texas, and Michigan. And like you get a sprinkle of California here or there, but a lot of people were from the South. What is that, Kobe? Oh, draining. Draining. Another reason I wanted to do this is my kids are 12 and 13 and they have me around. But like there's gonna be a day when that I'm not around. And I wish my dad would leave me some kind of record of like his thoughts and have like a journal of like his life. And I think that by doing this, I'm gonna leave something behind for my kids that they can see and watch and be like, that's my dad, you know? My wife lost her dad already and she's devastated. I know she would love to see his face on YouTube whenever she wanted, you know? Like I have um voicemails from a couple friends who passed, you know, or my cousin, like, and it's stupid what he said, but I I have it still to this day, and I won't ever get rid of it because it's him.
Bladder? What up, Bladder? Tried to give you a call twice. It went straight to voicemail. Maybe you're rubbing your pee-pee to porno. Gay porno. I don't know. Give me a call, dude. We got tropical storm down here, so I was just celebrating my mom's birthday, your Aunt Jane, because her birthday was last week, but she was up in Michigan, so. Later, player.
He called me Bladder because when I was young, my nickname was Bladder from him because I used to piss. He didn't have an extra bed in his room, so I had to sleep on the floor. So I'd always piss his floor. So I didn't piss his bed, but I pissed his floor numerous times. And he'd be like, "Fucking Bladder, dude." So that was my nickname. But he's like, yeah, what are you doing? Rubbing your pee-pee? No, I was not rubbing my pee-pee. And he asked me if I was rubbing it to porno or gay porno. I don't know if you heard. I put it up to this mic, so hopefully he caught it. But, humor was his thing. I'm pretty humorous sometimes, too. That's why you guys all fell for that fucking Tom Hanks skit there and probably wanted to strangle me through your phone. But, hey, got to get him somehow. I work with kids with autism. And that's fun, Try to teach them how to speak, sign language. It's really difficult, like a difficult job. And some of them show a lot of behaviors. So I've been like bit, scratched, mostly bit and scratched, but it's part of the job almost. Like a lady just got gnawed on the other day. I've got a scar from it, but she got gnawed on the other day and it made her whole arm black and blue around that bite, and she was just trying to keep a kid from banging his head off the floor. Like he gets upset and he literally headbutts the floor hard as fuck, and you try to block it and then he bites you. You're like, what can I do to help you, man? Like, I wish I could find something for you to be able to communicate what's going on so you don't have to do that to yourself, So it's a hard job, and people that work with them are saints. It's just one of those things, man. Like this kid that I work with, he can't talk. He can say a few words here and there, but when you want him to, he won't. It's only on his accord. But he has to have two technicians on him at all times because he bangs his head, spits, puts stuff in his mouth, bites, pinches, screams, and it's just hard. It really is hard to do. So I don't know. I think a special breed of people that work with them. My wife is an occupational therapist, so she does like not the behavior based stuff, but how to teach a kid how to eat, how to brush their teeth, how to clip their nails. Just she's a saint too. She works with all of them, and we actually work at the same place. And it's pretty cool. I see her a lot though. I mean, we drive to work together and we work together, we sleep in the same bed, we eat dinner together. So I just love my wife to death, but we see so much of each other that sometimes we like forget to like be husband and wife, and we're just kind of like laid out on the on separate couches, like needing our own alone time and stuff, like being able to sit on Facebook Reels and just like fucking veg out and do that, But that's what I end up doing. I just saw something. I guess the chess grandmaster at 29 died. He's probably pretty good to be the grandmaster. I just saw something about Disney and Disney cancellations. Oh wow. Disney cancellations spiked after Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. Here's how many dropped subscriptions. Disney and Hulu cancellation numbers revealed after Kimmel suspension. So I'm guessing that him being suspended has had a negative effect on Disney. I don't know. Plan for Putin and Trump meeting shelved days after Budapest talks proposed. I don't know what else there is. My wife's grandmother is deathly ill and getting ready to go on hospice, so she's going to go home today from the hospital. And yeah, sad. She's been like, I came from a small family, and she comes from a big one, my wife. And her grandmother is like shown me what family can be, like I didn't have that growing up, what my wife has with her family. We had my dad, my mom, my sister, me, and then my grandma on my mom's side still left. All my other grandparents passed away, and I had a couple uncles and aunts, but we don't do family get-togethers like. And my wife's family gets together on Christmas, and I mean, like, all of them get together on Christmas and Easter and all your major holidays. But then they get together on like 4th of July. They'll have people coming from all over the states. Like, I think some people come from Kentucky to come to Michigan just to hang out over at their house for like an afternoon. It's like, whoa, dude. But she showed me what family can really be. So I'm gonna be sad when we lose her. My wife's gonna be really sad. I know that. I still have both my parents left though, so that's good. But my wife only has her mother left, and she took her dad passing away pretty bad. So it's like death is never easy, you know, never easy. I got a tickle in my nose. Been watching football, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what else I want to talk about right now, but I figured I'd give it a good start, give it a good shot, and get this posted and uploaded and see what the reaction is, if there is any. If not, just keep posting and see what we can make happen. That's all I can ask for and all I can try to do. So good on you. We'll see you next time.